Hi, this is O.C. Farrell, and I think that you're really progressing quickly through the certificate class, and we're very pleased. We continue to be pleased with all of your comments. And again, the door is open for any questions that you might have. These are a couple of issues that have come up that, based on some of your responses, I thought we might address. And the key issue is, I would say, a question. What is the difference between business ethics and social responsibility? Are they both the same? And we can always go back to Archie Carroll's pyramid, where he points out that the most fundamental concern of a company is economic, then legal, then ethical, then philanthropic. But I always have viewed ethics is closely tied and a part of social responsibility, but they're often studied quite differently. And as you go through this particular course, I think you're beginning to see that we're mainly focusing on ethical decision making. And ethical decision making is probably more neglected in classes. Uh, it is often approached, again, from a philosophical standpoint, and it really doesn't tell you how to make ethical decisions applied to business situations. It's more about developing your personal lens, whether you embrace utilitarianism or deontology or some other basic philosophy. But we'd like to approach ethical decision making more from a descriptive standpoint, like the model that you studied, where we look at the different the impact of corporate culture and the individual, and looking at compliance and opportunity. But then translating that into the real world, it means moving into specific subject matter areas of business ethics. For example, and there are even courses in accounting ethics and marketing ethics. Um, Not so much financial ethics, it's usually approached more from integration within the courses, but there are a lot of standalone courses in marketing ethics and accounting ethics. And in those courses, it becomes very issue focused, and you're looking at subject, you're actually tying the ethical decision making concept from a descriptive standpoint directly to issues, for example, deceptive advertising and marketing, or maybe fraud in accounting, or those types of issues. But I want to back up a little bit and just look at the field of social responsibility. What you see in social responsibility is looking at, and often people look at ethics this way, looking at social issues. And social issues could relate to obesity. Social issues could relate to, believe it or not, sustainability. These are things that affect the many, it affects society, things that companies engage in. But most of these activities, although we study them and look at the decisions and consequences, most of our students won't be in positions to make a major impact over their company's strategies in these areas. These are more macro issues, as well as consumer behavior, consumer protection. Consumer protection is often thought of in terms of the Federal Trade Commission, and the difference between social issues and consumer protection relates to issues such as safety, intellectual property, protecting your identity, those types of things that, if it's not corrected, could actually cause something to be done that could really damage the individual. The other big area in social responsibility is corporate governance, more from a strategic standpoint. How do you organize boards, and what responsibility do they have in developing an ethical culture, and their decisions as it relates to their relationship with the shareholders and, of course, the management, top management. And then you can look at strategic business and society and our strategic corporate governance issues, as well as social responsibility issues, often approached from a stakeholder perspective. And today, the stakeholder perspective is very, very prominent in the study of social responsibility. So I hope that this kind of helps in talking about how do we place things into perspective. And one of the things that people often do is they take business ethics, ethical decision making for granted, and just assume that if we get good outcomes in some of the areas such as social issues, sustainability, consumer protection, stakeholder analysis, that that is business ethics, but it's not. Business ethics also includes looking at specific discipline issues and how the decisions are made, the consequences of those decisions, and how a company decides to relate to its ethical risk. Hey, thanks. We'll see you next week.